Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a look at Extinction, the new game from Iron Galaxy, the folks that made Killer Instinct and a bunch of other cool stuff. I'm Rich Walker, with me is Dean Abdu, and we're going to take you through it. It's an interesting action-adventure game, the likes of which you may have seen components of in other games, but it's very much kind of its own thing. So Dean, you insisted on being in this video.
I did.
What is it about the game that appeals to you?
So I think what appeals to me about this game is that it's very Attack on Titan-esque, with the fact that
decapitate monsters.
Yeah, you're fighting giants and you've got this quick maneuverability to you, which is like one of the two big points of Attack on Titan. And it looks gory and fun.
So a quick overview, right? You play this guy, Avil, I believe his name is. He's the hero of the piece. He's kind of this big hero who's among sort of the only people able to take down these monsters called Ravenii. Basically, humanity is already kind of doomed, and as Avil, it's kind of up to you to kind of reduce the damage to humanity and prevent civilians from dying. So you've got these little minion monsters, and you use that to charge up your kind of meter. You see the flaming kind of meter on the right there with the mini-map? And that in turn allows you to unleash those, I think they're called soul strikes. I've got notes in front of it. No, rune strikes, sorry. Right. They use up that energy and you can sever limbs and heads and stuff that way. But to do that, you've first got to break the armour of the monsters. So I was just saving civilians there, doing my bit of traversal and stuff. But this is the real meat of the game, is taking on these Ravenii. And you'll see in the top right corner, there is a percentage there. That is the kind of integrity of the city, what's left of it, basically.
Okay.
So you want to keep that statistic as low as possible, as high rather. You want it to prevent it from going low. So this is just me playing the tutorial, really, just kind of getting to grips. It's actually really easy to kind of pick it up. And this is the first Ravenii you encounter. He's got wooden armor, which is just simple to smash. But you'll come across enemies with iron armor, with padlocks you've got to break. You come across ones with bone armor, which was the first monster you saw in the video, and you have to wait for him to stomp and extinguish the fire in the eye sockets of the skulls, and only then can you break it. Let's see, and then you can sever limbs once you've got rid of the armor. You can hobble them, but those limbs regenerate over time, so if you leave him sat there for too long, he'll grow his leg back.
So ideally, you want to take out the legs first to bring him down, to stop his maneuverability, and then you can climb up him, like you're doing right now, I see, and go for the decapitation.
So this was the first monster I killed, and that's how you do it.
And decapitating them is the only way to actually like completely wipe them out.
Completely, yeah. So you can also take off their arms, so you can stop them attacking and destroying stuff. This is a quick look at the skill tree, so that'll be in there. You'll unlock stuff as you progress, and you'll earn skill points or whatever. So full disclosure, this is no longer me playing, this is the developer. So they're a bit better at traversing. So you can get a kind of feel for how kind of fluid the traversal is. You can dash through the air, you've got a whip that you can use to grapple to these designated points and pull yourself in. The monsters have the same little whip points on them, so you can do that, and you can wall run. There's all sorts you can do, and you can chain it all together into one seamless kind of motion. There's a sense of urgency to the game as well, because civilians are constantly dying if you don't kind of react quick enough.
Okay.
So it's never going to be possible to save everyone, but obviously you've got to kind of limit the amount of damage that's done by these monsters.
So along with the giants being threats, you've also got these smaller guys, which are the ones that they're mainly taking out the civilians? Yeah,
and they're there to obviously bolster your energy bar, which you want to try and keep full. So this is an example of one with iron armor now. So obviously there's the wood armor, which we saw for the first one, and there's some who have bright steel armor. That armor's indestructible, so you have to think of another way to take him down.
Right, okay.
Not sure what that would involve, but I guess you'll have to find out. So yeah, you can break all the padlocks. So we've taken that off his leg, and we can take off an arm, prevent him from doing that, flattening us. Obviously you've got to be careful, wary of that. The developer told me that dodging isn't like a dice roll with some games. You actually have to avoid the attack.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't avoid the attack, you will get squashed. Ooh. Like there's some instances where like a monster just kind of backed up and you got crushed under the heel.
Okay, and is it like an insta-kill sort of thing? Wow.
Yeah, you will get squashed instantly. So you got to be careful. The only penalty for dying is you have to take a bit of time out and respawn. So you could have been flattened there.
Oh, bloody hell.
So obviously time is a big factor in this. So if you kind of lose out on time, you know,
you're done.
You're losing civilians.
Right.
Your city's getting smashed. I mean, look, everything's entirely destructible as well. So an ogre can level a whole city. You'll see there's combinations of armor here as well. So he's got bright steel shin guards. He's got bone armor on his wrists, and he's got an iron helmet. So there's all sorts of different permutations. There's different colours of ogre as well that have different behaviours and attack types. So this is a grey one, we fought green ones. You'll see a red one later on.
Okay.
They all have different personalities and stuff. So there's all that to consider too. So there's a lot going on in this game.
And is all their attacking abilities all like physical based, so that all they can do is stomp around and smash stuff?
It seems that way, yeah. I mean, later enemies might have different stuff. I mean, this is like chapter 15, mission 15, I think. Right. But you can kind of scale the armor as well, like say Shadow of the Colossus or something like that, which is kind of cool. And there are other ways you can get up, so you can do what he's doing there, sort of zigzag through the air. You can slow time. If you upgrade this, you can almost stop time completely.
Oh wow.
You can grapple with your whip to those little flying minions and get up in the air that way. Loads of different ways you can traverse and scale these big boys. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
What's the like overall arching story behind this? So we got our main protagonist here who's defending this city from these giants. Where did the giants come from?
They've just come from basically another realm, and they're here to just kind of claim this place as their own.
As
because
giants
they're
do.
big and superior, and why not?
Okay.
So it's really your kind of humanity's last hope, and it doesn't look good. I mean, the dev said, you know, humanity is doomed. That's it. It's like, well, so how do I win? And I guess that's for you to kind of find out. Yeah, you know, damage limitation. That's your job. Wow.
So I said this quite a few times when writing about this game, but fans of Attack on Titan, it's my third or fourth time bringing that up, will definitely dig this because it's very similar in concept in that you're fighting giants, say protecting a city, and which I only noticed from this video, the way to bring them down is by slicing their heads off in Attack on Titan. You have to do a precise cut on their neck.
Really?
So it is...
There are
similarities, but at the same time, it's its own thing with like your main protagonist having all these different abilities, and with all these miniature guys that you got to protect from the civilians as well.
Yeah.
I also saw earlier in the video there was like some flying guys. Do you know much about those?
They're just like minions like these guys, but you can use them as grapple points to get up high.
Oh, right.
So they hover around the top of the ogres and stuff. Also, those evacuation crystals mark where civilians are. So you hold Y or triangle on those and you clear the civilians out. So basically the way to go about things seems that you would want to clear the civilians first, minimizing as much damage as you possibly can, and then take on the ogres. Also, you see the helmet there. You had to get him to swipe the back of his neck to break it.
Right.
So that's the way you get rid of that. So there's ways and means of doing different things. That's unique to that bone armor that he does that. So like on the iron armor, it's break the padlock. On that, it's have him smash the skull to extinguish the flames.
So there's a lot of different variations to taking these guys.
This is the red guy in iron armor here. So I don't know how many different combinations there are, but I'm told there's a lot.
Definitely. I mean, if there's like armors for each shin, each shoulder and arms, along with the helmets, it seems like there's many variations.
The idea is that your objectives are constantly kind of evolving and changing in this kind of big sandbox area.
Okay.
And each mission as well has different challenges to complete to kind of attain 3 stars on each level. So there's those to keep in mind as well, on top of, you know, protecting the city from these marauding monsters. So there's a lot to it.
Okay.
There's a lot to it. And these randomly spawn as well, these ogres. So you might think, oh, I've dealt with them all now, and then another one will just appear, and you'll be like, okay.
So there's like no way you can predict what's happening next. It's all just random.
There's random generation. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And some civilians as well will be up out of reach, so you'll have to climb to get hold of them.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you're constantly on your toes basically.
Right.
Running around a lot. It's a good job you're able to flip and dash and wall run and all
Use
that.
your whip to get to higher points as well.
Exactly.
This guy is just completely wiping out these buildings.
Exactly. So that's why your ally saying work quickly. The monsters are screwing everything up.
50%.
Yeah. So there's another one here now. It's like, oh man.
And what kind of weapons do they tend to wield? Is it all clubs or?
Well, the clubs are all I've seen so far, but I'm sure there'll be other weapons in there. I mean, some of them just use their fists.
Gets the job done.
Yeah, yeah, but you're right. I mean, spiked clubs seem to be the weapon of choice for many of these ogres. So yeah, this guy's wood armor again, so he's quite easy to take out.
Okay. There was a moment just a second ago where your protagonist had a few like sort of things flashing above his head, like spidey sense
Spidey
sort of
sense,
thing?
yeah, yeah. So I'm guessing you'll be able to counter attacks and stuff. You can kind of get a kind of warning of when an enemy's gonna strike you, and I guess you'll need that because yeah, you can get smashed pretty quickly.
As you said earlier, you can get crushed under the buttocks of a giant.
Exactly. So that's Extinction. That's coming. It's coming out in 2018 for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Hope we informed you nicely and you enjoyed what you saw. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Until next time. Goodbye.